I'm Dan.
And I'm Mel from adventuresofmel.com.
Tonight we're going to show you how to make a very simple, low-carb chicken and sausage instant pot casserole. I don't know if it's really called a casserole. It's more of a make it in the instant pot, so it doesn't go in the oven. This recipe was adapted from an oven-based recipe that I found online. I switched a few things up in it, changed the ingredient size a little bit, but basically, you know, still fairly close, same recipe, but made for instant pot. So first thing that you want to do is the first three ingredients is you need a head of cauliflower. You need a pound of breakfast sausage, and to stay low carb, you want to try and find breakfast sausage that doesn't have added sugar. The second part is chicken, so probably about a pound of chicken breast. So it takes about 30 minutes to cook those three ingredients in the instant pot to really get it to the point where it'll work for the recipe. So I've already got that part done. I'll start with, get it out of here. So I leave the cauliflower and just cut it up in pieces. Basically take the core off. The one thing I like about the Instant Pot is you can cook multiple things at once.
Gina says hi. Hey Gina!
Hey Gina. So I'm kind of a lazy cook, so this works great for me.
And I'm gonna chop up the celery and the onion. How much, do you want it minced or just chopped or? Chopped,
as fine as you want.
Okay.
So for the other ingredients, you're gonna have basically a stalk of celery, maybe about a quarter cup of minced onion. You're gonna want about 2 cloves, maybe 3 cloves of garlic minced up, and you're going to want 8 ounces of cheddar cheese to shred. So this is a nice little steam basket that you can buy for your instant pot. They fold up pretty nice, work really good to get out of the way. It allows you to kind of stack stuff in your instant pot. So see, the reason why it took me about 30 minutes to cook this is because I started with a pound of breakfast sausage and it was frozen. So, and the same with my chicken breast, my chicken breast was frozen. So I've been, lately the last few months, we buy a big pack of chicken breast at Sam's or wherever we need to, and I've been cooking them in either the Instant Pot or in a crock pot all day, season them up a little bit, and then put them in individual bags and freeze them, and I can get them out and recook them really quickly, and they shred really easily. So I don't really do anything with the liquid that comes from making this. So in the beginning, you put your sausage in the bottom, your chicken in the bottom. I put the steamer basket on top, then the cauliflower. Then I put about a cup of water in the bottom to get things going. So that's all cooked. I'll throw in about a tablespoon and a half of butter. You want to turn your Instant Pot on to saute, and then just get your butter to melt here a little bit. So the remainder of this cooking will be just using the saute. You won't have to pressure cook anything else. So you don't have to add this, but I use about a half a cup to 3/4 cup of heavy cream.
That basket keeps rattling.
What basket?
Or something. Maybe it's the Instant Pot.
There's no telling what it is. What is that? Now it's bugging me.
I'm going to start crying.
It's fixed. Okay. So, sorry for the slight delay. Chicken, while that's warming up, I'm going to shred this chicken up and kind of mash the cauliflower a little bit. You'll get to do a little bit more inside in the pot after you cook the other ingredients. One thing that I have thoroughly enjoyed is cooking sausage like this whole in the Instant Pot. So I've got a couple recipes that we use this for, and for some reason it just holds the flavor of that sausage, and even hamburger. I've done some hamburger recipes as well. So, you know, it's quite a bit different taste. And if you want to try it, you know, cook some in a pan some night, cook some in the Instant Pot, and see what it turns out like. So I'll crush that up a little bit better once I get it inside here.
This is one of our kids' favorite meals. Hi, Robin. You're from Anaheim. Awesome. This is one of our kids' favorite meals. It's actually it's all of us. We all love it. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people don't like cauliflower, but I myself, I can't even really tell that it is cauliflower. I don't know, it's just really good. By the time it's all mixed together.
Now I will warn you up front, this is not a pretty dish when it's done.
No.
It's kind of a mess.
We kind of call it pig slop.
It kind of reminds you of that. So, put your garlic, your celery, and your onion in, and you want to saute it for just a couple minutes till it's done. Kind of up to you and whether you want it crunchy or soft. So this is not like a no carb recipe, but just calculating some stuff up in my head, I think by the time you're done, you're somewhere around 8 to 9, possibly 10 grams of carbs per serving. There's no added sugar. If you can find, as long as you can find some sausage without any, added sugar, usually do pretty good. So about a year ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So over the last year, we've been really working hard to try and find recipes that, as a family, we all can eat together and enjoy at the same time that I can eat as well. So I manage my diabetes purely by diet and a few oils and some natural remedies. So, and it's working really well for me at this point. But so some of the stuff we make on here, I'll sample a little bit, but you won't see me eating a whole lot of it. But that doesn't mean we can't show you how to make it.
And some of the stuff too, we just adapt it to where, like if we make enchiladas, we make a corner of the pan where it doesn't have any tortillas, or we just adapt the recipe so that he can still eat some, but he's not eating anything that's bad for him.
Or too bad for him.
Or yeah, that's gonna spike his sugar.
So I try to keep my carb intake per meal around 10 to 15 carbs at most to keep my blood sugar from going too high. So this recipe works really well for that.
Got the cheese.
So
the cream going?
That's what goes at the very last.
Here, I'll unwrap this immediately.
So now's where you start to mix in the rest of these goodies. I'm going to move this over here a little bit more. I know you guys can't really see, but this is where you go to town and just start killing this stuff. So that sausage, when you cook it like this, it really likes to stick together a lot more than what it would if you were cooking it in a pan.
Gina, my husband's name, his name is Dan. So she asked what your name was.
Some call me Maurice, or the gangster of love. And I get corny sometimes too. So the idea is try to get this cauliflower mashed up as good as you can. So pressure cooking it really helps to break it up. So This way your kids don't realize that it's even cauliflower, especially once the cream cheese goes in. There's really no telling. So we're a little bit late on time tonight. We're going to start moving our videos a little later on Thursdays. Next week we'll probably start somewhere around between 7 and 7:15. So trying to get everything ready.
Maybe a little later.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Trying to make sure kids are fed, the baby's fed.
Hi, Nancy. Oh, Gina says that she'll call you Maurice.
That works. I go by many names, just don't ever call me late for dinner. So it's pretty well mashed up. I don't know if you can see, but it kind of looks like a mess. So your next step is to get your cream cheese. I usually leave this cream cheese out for a good 30-45 minutes while everything's cooking to let it cool down a little, or warm up a bit.
Shannon's here. Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Looks good, guys. Thank you.
That cream cheese melts fairly quickly if you let it sit out for a good 30 minutes. It just helps to put things together. Your next step is to get this cheese in there.
Yeah.
I don't want those big pieces.
Probably those. Shannon says she has an Instant Pot, so she's learning some tips. And Nancy says, Scott said that to Rebecca, so she called him Mr. B the entire time we dated. Cheese makes me happy too, especially when it's extra sharp.
Cheese is a very good snack for a diabetic if it's a hard cheese. There's generally no carbs in it, so it's something you can eat quite a bit of, so without worrying about your blood sugar. But so, got the cheese melted in. You can see there, it's definitely not very pretty. So your last step here, I mean, you could eat it. You could eat it at this point as long as it's warmed up and you've got it chopped to the consistency that you like to see. You could eat it at this point. We've ate it like this before, but I like it to be a little more creamy. So I like to add in that cream.
I need a plate. Was that what this was?
In the dishwasher. I prepared well tonight. The recipe originally called for finishing off with a little bit of paprika. I haven't tried it yet, but I normally like paprika, but to me in this form I don't think it tastes all that great, but it's up to you to try. So
Gina says they eat a lot of cheese and Tom is diabetic too.
awesome.
I mean, not awesome.
Well, awesome that someone else is diabetic that's watching. It's been a very big learning experience for me and figuring out how your body works and how it reacts to things and what you can eat. But I guess tonight it doesn't look too bad. Well, you can see it there at the camera. I'll try and get a little bit closer. So it's not too terribly bad. It's got some light coloring. You can see everything chunked up pretty nice, but it definitely tastes very delicious.
Yeah.
So
I would get a fork, but there's none left.
we got lots of forks.
Okay. Awesome.
Have some. So
My favorite part is the sausage and the creaminess.
it's
It's really good.
That sausage just has a really good flavor when you cook it in the Instant Pot. So, but that's pretty much it. So, when you get it all done, you want to turn your Instant Pot off and turn it back on to keep warm so you don't singe all the cheese on the bottom. I can smell mine burning a little bit.
When we post this in just a little bit, and yes, I do, Shannon, I do need to post this on my blog. I don't have it there yet, but I'll post the ingredients in the caption of the video once it posts, and that way you can go ahead and make it. And hopefully in a couple weeks, I'll have the recipe on my site. But next week, we're gonna come to you a little bit later, probably around 7:15, 7:30, and we're hoping to make chicken nachos with hummus. So we will see you then, and we hope you'll join us back next Thursday, probably around 7:30.
So, hope you enjoyed it. So, have a good night.
Thank you.